Human rights. In the past few months, Syria has been the eye of the hurricane thanks to its connection with the ISIS. The Muslim extremist organization is taking over the states of the Middle East to establish themselves in order to create a perfect Muslim state. And for them, that means a state where all the people are Muslims and live according to their rules. But not all Syrians agree with this organization, and here's where the problem starts. The ISIS don't respect their decision and they start violating their human rights by kidnapping, raping, and even killing every person that doesn't agree with them. Syrians are desperate and want to leave the country as soon as possible. But the only way that they could do it is by shipping from the Mediterranean Sea, so they can reach a European country. By escaping from their country, people are risking their lives. But what else could they do if they want to survive? The whole world has been shocked when the picture of this dead Syrian boy floating ashore was taken. That image was a perfect representation of how people suffer and sometimes not even survive by escaping from the ISIS. But when they do survive, countries like United Kingdom close their doors and they starve to death because they have nowhere to go. The UN intervention has been of great help because, first of all, they have sent boats to avoid more people to drown. They have made countries like Saudi Arabia and Emiratos Árabes that are not accepting Syrian refugees to pay a certain amount of money so Syrians could have a better opportunity to live. The cause of this problem is mainly religious, but is also ideological and territorial. Human rights have not been respected at all. But we as a world, we are trying to help all the people that are suffering by donating, praying, and also making campaigns so people are more respected.
Hundred years ago, during the pharaonic era, women played a big role on the Egyptian society. One example is Cleopatra. She shared the same status as a man, maybe even more than the man. She was the last active pharaoh, and now, advancing 100 years from the modern Egypt, the progress of women has been advancing. A lot of it is thanks to the need of modernizing Egypt. In 1925, the Feminist Party was created. The Egyptian Women's Party was formed. Then, after a few years, in 1942, Egypt saw the birth of the Women's National Party. They fought so that any woman could have any job at any state position. The USAID is an NGO that promotes gender equality in all the jobs there are in Egypt. Some communities workers help to change the way people think about women's rights and rules. The main sectors this organization focuses on is in education, civic participation, and political rights. They're just trying to make women a big part of Egypt. They're fighting to give women and girls the right they deserve. Also, they are helping women become more independent. They are trying to provide jobs and small loans so that women can become entrepreneurs. The UN has some objectives they want to accomplish in Egypt. They want to empower women within export supply chains by making sure they add value to the supply chains in new and measurable ways. To measure how successful it was, these indicators were defined. Number of women committees activated in the targeted farm associations. Number of women assisted by the women committees to start or upgrade a business. Percent average increase in the number of women joining the FAs. Percent of FA's revenues allocated to the women committees, and number of women receiving assets through the project. The main cause of this problem is settling, but thanks to a lot of things, there have been accomplishments. As of now, 6 women committees have been created. They also have run their own elections. This is just the beginning of the road to empower women and be equal as a man. between years 1960 and 1980, women had gained the access to education, healthcare, and employment. And during the 1980 to 1988, there was the Iran and Iraq War. Many women suffered because some of them became widows and had to support their families. But this also helped them. At this time, there was a shortage of men, so many opportunities were open to women. The UNFPA is helping Iraqi women become more independent and to achieve gender equality. They are trying to make all women and girls able to benefit from the resources that UNFPA provides. The program has two major goals they want to achieve in the upcoming 4 years. The institutional, technical, and operational capacity of line ministries and local non-governmental organizations are strengthened to secure services for survivors of violence against women. And the capacity of women non-governmental organizations is strengthened to advocate gender equality, women's rights, and reproductive health, and to promote women's empowerment and participation in the peace building and development of Iraq. This is an ethnic problem, but thanks to the UN, things will get better in a few years.
Child labor. Today, close to 250 million children are victims of child labor, working in bad or dangerous conditions with a petty salary, and even more sadly, almost 1 million of these children are victims of child trafficking. The definition of child labor is any work or activity that deprives a child from his childhood and damages his or her physical and mental health. Some of the main aspects of child labor is the legal age for a child to work. In many countries, work before the age of 16 is illegal. In cases like in the developing countries, it's before 15 years old. But for hazardous work, the limit age is up to 18 years. Child labor is also considered when children are mistreated, sold for doing forced labor, serfdom, or anything that looks like slavery. In Yemen, according to Yemen's first ever National Child Labor Survey, which was carried out with the support from the ILO or the International Labour Organization, the Social Development Fund, and UNICEF, Yemen has almost 7.7 million children in the ages from 5 to 17, and more than 1.3 million children are involved in child labor. This means that 17% of Yemen's children are child laborers. But why is there child labor in Yemen? Well, in 2014, Yemen was victim of an armed conflict. The Houthis captured Sana'a, the capital, in September, and established de facto control over ministries and military force. This caused many children to lose their homes, their families, and their schools. Although the UN has a program that was created to avoid child labor, it hasn't succeeded all over the world. The program consists on finding these children that has been sold or are working in bad conditions that could endanger their lives, and the child soldiers that have been taken away from their families and returning them to their homes, to their countries, and to their families. Oman is one of the best countries that are making progress in terms of child labor. The Sultan of Oman declared 2012 as the year of the child. There hasn't been any reports of child trafficking or child adoption since 1980. The UN has made a lot of treaties to avoid this from happening.
Iran is one of the main terrorist countries. Terrorist groups like Hezbollah attack every year many countries in the whole world. Most of the terrorist groups are from the extremist religions. The have a really strong belief on their God. The Middle East is full of Muslims, while they are divided into two types, the Sunnis and the Shia. The whole population of Iran are Shia, except for some few people. Iran has developed a strong bad faith for all the terrorist attacks, but the issue is that, as the same of the other Muslim countries, most of the people aren't aggressive, but the media modify and manipulate information, making this a massive problem of judging. The USA declares that Iran is a terrorist sponsor. For this reason, the US doesn't have a good relation with the country. But until nowadays, the countries are gathering for one common good, that is to take them ISIS. The US, France, the Kurds, UK, and Iran are fighting together for solving this issue that is causing a huge chaos. ISIS are Sunni Muslims, and they have a huge hate to Shias. Just for that, Iran has a really important part of this war, and they will take care of the east side of the military forces. Iran is making an army for the war against ISIS. Iran is one of the worst countries if we talk about terrorism, but the war that is happening nowadays is helping countries to make stronger alliances. This could mean that in the future, the countries that are against ISIS will have a very nice relation. Countries should work together for solving these kind of problems. History shows that this is a fact. The terrorism will increase, but it won't be of Iran because the country is focusing on beating ISIS. The population of the world hope is that this relation can take much longer. If they keep being stronger alliances, the terrorists from the part of Iran will probably decrease in a couple of years.
My topic is hunger, and my three countries are Syria, Afghanistan, and Israel. Basically, action against hunger is internationally recognized as a leader in the fight against global malnutrition. This means that many NGOs such as the UN and the WFP are taking conscience in this problem. This fight against hunger works to save the lives of malnourished children while providing communities the access to safe water and sustainable solutions to hunger. Basically, the sustainable solutions to hunger are collecting food and taking it to these countries. And many of the countries are attaching the United Nations to help these three countries come through this problem soon. Basically, some of the solutions these three countries, well, mainly Israel, Afghanistan, and Syria, are taking. They are getting land that they are not using or that is abandoned to create crops, fertile crops, to make them grow and to make food for the refugees or for their people that are starving. And the increase of hunger in these three countries is unexplainable. Reasons are uncertain or in dispute. Most doctors and aid workers agree that continuing war and refugee displacement are contributing. Some believe that the growing of the number of child patients may be at least partly a good sign, as more of Afghans are hearing about treatment available for them. Also, in hospitals in these three countries, some cases have increased by 50% or more compared to 2012, according to the United Nations figures. Doctors report similar situations in Kandahar, Farah, Kunar, Paktia, and Paktika provinces, all places where warfare has disrupted people's lives and pushed many vulnerable poor over the nutritional age.
Qatar is located in the Arabian Peninsula, and just like Lebanon, they have a very good educational system. The educational system is directed and controlled by the Supreme Educational Council and the Ministry of Education. They have even better literacy rates than Lebanon. They have a 96.6% literacy rates. Since 2004, 46 new independent schools opened in Qatar. Also, by 2030, they have very big objectives for their countries, and many of them are educationals. They have approximately 386 schools in Qatar, and many prestigious universities have set campuses there, many of them located in their capital, Doha. In the United Arab Emirates, they have a 90% literacy rates, and this is very good. Thanks to the Ministry of Education, they have a series of 5-year plans designed to introduce advanced education techniques and focus more on self-learning abilities of the same students. We all know that the Arab Emirates have been very criticized for the violation of human rights, but one thing that they are changing is that they are letting the women study, and this is a very good thing because they are promoting Millennium Goal number 3, the one of gender equality.